Before we talk about water, let's talk about a word people often use as a compliment: low maintenance. Easy to deal with, doesn't ask for much, very easy, very adaptable to any situation. Most of us learn to be proud of that, but I want to ask something quietly, and it's that when did that need to be something we were proud of? When did we teach our bodies to need less? And then somewhere along the way, needing things became really inconvenient for us. Needing a break, needing to go to the washroom, needing to rest. So we adapted. That should be something we keep in mind for ourselves. But no, it went to the sidelines. So I ask you to think about it. Why did that start? Was it society that put that in us? Or was that the conditioning from life and all of your experiences that lead for that to happen? And the expectations. And slowly, thirst just became something that we tolerated. It was like, if I'm thirsty in this moment, I'm sure I can go drink water a little later, And so you keep on doing that over again. And then situations lead for all of that to actually happen, and it just makes things generally easier. Why should I drink water right now and then maybe go to the washroom later? Instead, let me just prolong it, maybe. In the end of the day, I'll definitely drink some water. But that doesn't happen. And then you continuously neglect your urge to drink water and those thirst signals. So then it just becomes something in the background, and the background just becomes hazier and hazier. So think about it. The ideal person in most spaces is self-sufficient, doesn't require much, can do things on his own, doesn't need anyone to suggest or tell him to do things because he already has that covered. So your ideal person never complains, always is doing something, never complains, doesn't make an issue out of anything. So the simplest thing, like getting your hydration in. So the things I mentioned, hydration never really ever fits into that image, right? You never really associate a person who's very reliable, very self-sufficient, and what of maybe workspace or social space, never complains, always you can count on them, gets things done. You never really know them to really get their water in, right? I mean, if you really think about it, how many people do you know that is known for just drinking a lot of water? I mean, I think that's something we never really see. No one's ever really known as a guy who just drinks a lot of water. No one is ever really known as the guy who just drinks a lot of water, or lady in that case. So it makes you wonder, what are you doing wrong? And these nuances trained us to not care about our bodies because we didn't want to be difficult, not wanting to show that you're just going to continuously go to the bathroom because it doesn't look good, because, the person who goes to the bathroom all the time may be seen as a lack of a worker, or maybe just not as in-depth as other people could be. So you see the way everyone has been trained to behave in this way. You don't complain as much. You do so and so. You be reliable. You be self-sufficient. But you don't take care of one thing. You don't take care of your body. You're taking care of all of these other things that society teaches you to take care about, or teaches you to rely on, because that's the way our norms are. That's wrong. Your body comes first. This is your pillar. You need to have a system of hydration. Yes, maybe don't go to the washroom 6, 7, 8 times in a row, but just have small glasses of water during your workday, during your shift, doing whatever activity it is you're doing, or even if you're at home, if you work from home, have plenty of water, electrolytes, get that hydration in. Because that's what's going to actually allow you to perform the work that you ultimately have to do for yourself. When you're working for an organization or any kind of work, you own your own business, ultimately it's the output, right, that matters. It's how you think, the way you execute, and the condition you are in to execute those ideas. So why not choose the side which will actually help you with it? Get your hydration in, because your body it's majority just water itself. And I'll reiterate this as much as I can so that it actually goes in your mind. Your body is majority comprised of water. Your brain is 75% of water in itself. These are things you have to keep in mind, because this will allow you, when you consider these aspects into your routine, this is what's going to allow you to actually be a better version of you. Maybe if you feel some way of anxiety, some way of maybe depression, maybe you just feel a lot of brain fog, you're feeling super lethargic, your mind ain't working the way it used to, or it's just not working. Maybe you feel like you can't pinpoint what's wrong exactly. Maybe you're just in a state of just not this, not that, but just somewhere along the haze, somewhere in the clouds, somewhere in the abyss. So that isn't something that's wrong with you or your mind. That's just Not having a foundation in your body, the pillar in your body, the support, the care, the nourishment, nutrition. These are things that when you put in your body, it's going to produce something for you. It's going to allow you to be a better you. So please keep that in mind. Let's cover the body side of the story. What's going on within but doesn't have a voice. What's going on within but doesn't have a voice. Here's the part that rarely gets laid out. When you don't hydrate enough, your body doesn't shut down magically. It compensates. Blood volume drops slightly, your heart rate elevates, and your stress hormones rise just enough to keep you functional, with it also just having a weight behind your head that's just kind of nagging you and pulling you down. The National Institute of Health shows that mild dehydration up to 1 to 2% leads to the production and increasing amounts of cortisol levels within your system. And that is your body's primary stress hormone. So if you're ever in a situation where you just feel very panicky and you feel like everything's going wrong, it's probably a lot to do with that hormone just flooding your system. Not enough to feel panic, but just enough to feel tense, really tense. At the same time, blood volume decreases. That means your heart just has to work a little harder to produce the oxygen that your body needs. Something documented in studies produced by the Journal of Applied Physiology. So you feel more fatigued, less patient, more lethargic, extreme levels of brain fog, and you don't really think about it being a problem from dehydration and not getting enough water in. It's something you just kind of then associate to who you are as a person. And that, I think, is a terrible thing for someone to feel like, because there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you're not giving yourself that foundation and support. And you just assume that's life. And this is the part I want to put forward very clearly. Low maintenance people, yes, they don't ask for a lot. But I feel like once you actually start taking care of your body, this is the part I want to say clearly. Low maintenance people need to start asking for more. You need to put yourself in situations where you have to take care of your body. I know it'll seem like at first that, if I'm looking so high maintenance, people would think of me in a negative manner. No, you are just supporting what allows you to be the best of you, of how you can be. Because over time, ignoring thirst, it may make you feel mature, make you feel like you got control, you have a level of willpower, you are not that, you are not a person that complains, but eventually that's all gonna add up. It's all gonna add up eventually. Not into illness, but into strain. Strain that's gonna just kind of grow and grow and grow, and it's gonna put you in a very different mindset. You ever feel like there are times where life is going completely gray, and then slowly it just gets very stretched out? You feel that strain, you feel that pressure. I don't think a lot of us actually in those moments see how are we also treating our bodies. What are we giving it that's allowing it to actually be the best version of it that it can be? So I would like to reiterate, drinking water isn't about discipline or self-improvement. It's a small way of telling your body that it doesn't have to keep proving that it can cope. Maybe the real habits to making you feel better and actually keeping in your life is just operating in a sustainable level, that you're not doing too much, but you're doing just enough to keep going, because inherently you do need a body that is solid, that has what it needs, and that can just be in a good mood instead of always just feeling like there's something wrong, there's something going on, or I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But I also have to show that I need to look like this and I need to look like that. You're not proving a point out here. Just be yourself. Have your water. Really have your water, please. And thank you.